Welcome back to the ACL's coverage of the Oceanic Open Ladder. My name is Jake Hysterix Aussie Panko, and with me, as always, is Nathan Mendrix Mendez. And after last week's, or should I say fortnight's performance, I'm pretty excited to get back into the Oceanic Open Ladder.
Yeah, definitely. Now we've got the new patch 5.9 coming on through. We have got the Ash rework and the changes to Cinderhulk. So it's going to be interesting to see what these teams do with the new tools at hand.
Yeah, Ash is a powerhouse at the moment, and we were talking about it before. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow, combined with those flurry of shots coming from her new Q, and her passive automatically slows. It's a bit overpowered at the moment, but you got to say that we may be seeing an Ash pick coming through today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she still suffers from the same elements, which is she's very immobile. If she gets caught, she's in trouble. But basically, she has a lot more damage. She's got a lot more utility. She is now the utility ADC, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do.
And we're moving into Champion Select now for our first game between Avant Academy and Limited Power. Some fresh teams coming onto the scene, but we see some popular bans getting put out. Poppy is the first ban champion for Avant Not something you see. We see Rek'Sai, LeBlanc, Kalista. Pretty standard bans coming through.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what the Poppy ban was for. Well,
speciality,
I'd say,
maybe.
Maybe a speciality ban, yeah. She's still the nightmare for ADC. She pops her ultimate onto the support. She can just run straight at whoever she wants at that point. Unstoppable, basically. Going on through he's a very big pick at the moment. He's definitely jumped up to, I think, about 55% pick rate pretty much in all ELOs around the board. So he's very popular at the moment. Rek'Sai is just part of the tank meta. He's perfect for it. So definitely a very popular ban to get rid of. LeBlanc, as usual, she snowballs her mid lane. Kalista, the Queen of Kite, and Hecarim. He's just been a menace for the past few
matches. Just rampages over everyone. We see Maokai, a very confident first pick, which is going to be a pretty strong top laner. Same as 5.7, 5.8. He hasn't changed much, so a comfort pick, yeah, but really just a really good meta pick as well. As Gragas gets locked in as well. A very nice pick there to sort of counter up that top lane a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Gragas is one of those fantastic champions where he can pretty much go through, clear the jungle at decent speed, and then his ganks are extremely potent. He can flash in with his body slam, and he's pretty much got you caught at that point in that situation. So you do not want to get caught by Gragas in that case, because he's really going to, in the case of his name, charge at you.
Oh, there you go. And of course, Thresh getting picked in, a comfort pick once again. But I want to come back to this Poppy who's been banned, and that for me is something a little bit strange. And we see in the open ladder, as what we saw a fortnight ago for the first week, comfort picks are what win it. And maybe Ash has become a comfort pick, as we see a bit of a hover there. This is what we're expecting. The Ash with the huge damage spike. Doesn't have escapes, but for a team, it's just deadly.
Yeah, definitely. But looks like she's got Triple Cheese has moved back to Lucian. The thing is that arrow is one of the biggest things. It's pretty much a ranged Sejuani ultimate that's global. So if it lands, it can make the complete change in a team fight and completely set that game on its head. Going through, you've got here the Maokai already. He's fantastic. He's relevant throughout the entire game. He's fantastic for that regard. They've picked up Blitzcrank, and that's
not something you normally see. The Blitzcrank hasn't been that popular in the recent meta, and I guess if we're looking for a shift in the meta, you might say that Blitzcrank is coming in because the Cinderhulk's dying down, you're getting these warriors again, and Blitzcrank overexposes those warrior jungles who are so squishy to start off, like J4, Lee Sin, before they get their tank spike. So Blitzcrank, a beautiful pick to come in there. Depending on what the other team picks, at the moment, Gragas probably still the only Cinderhulk jungler that's as powerful as ever.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we see the Vladimir also coming through as well. Luden's Echo, one of the big things that buffed him up coming through into the recent patches. He's just a menace, split pushing down the side lanes, causing two people to come to him, and he can even 2v1 in these situations. And we also got a hover on the Kog'Maw.
Oh, yeah, we see that. That's been a really popular pick recently, and Kog'Maw has so much latent damage in the late game. I think one of the highest damage spikes in the late game carry. Once again, no escapes coming from Kog'Maw, but it doesn't really matter because if they can sort of protect him and get that front line all the way to their back line. A bit confusing there for you, but there's a lot of damage that's going to come out. Vladimir gets locked in as well, a very strong pick. The AP will be pretty strong in the side of Limited Power, but there's still a lot of damage spikes coming through.
Yeah, definitely. Once Kog'Maw picks up his Blade of the Ruined King combined with the Trinity Force, he is a monster. Add to the fact that we are involved in tank meta. I know at the moment, looking at the side of Avant Academy, they don't have that many tanks aside from, oh, there we go, we've got a Sejuani pick coming through there. So the Sejuani and the Maokai, look to Kog'Maw to shred them out. But he's definitely going to have a lot of trouble because he looks like there's going to be a Fizz coming through from Chief Edition.
Yeah, Fizz is pretty overpowered, but if you can shut him down early, he's nothing really. So they're going to have to collapse on that Fizz if they do choose to pick that. But in the mid lane, I'd sort of see something more like a bit of a passive pick. So if Fizz is the final pick, I wouldn't be surprised. But there we go as it gets locked in. And the Sejuani, as you said, a very good pick to situate that team comp. And it looks like the Elise might be hovered there. Something we have not seen in a very long time, Mendrix.
Well, with the tank meta as it is at the moment, Elise is a fantastic pick because she does have that percentage HP burn. So you've got these bigger tanks, the Sejuani, and you've got the Maokai. If she was to pick it in, she can burn it away. But never mind, we've got an Orianna coming on through.
Yeah, the Orianna looks like they'll be coming on through. A lot of AP coming through. Remember, Kog'Maw, he has some flat AP on him as well. So there's about four carries there with AP damage, and Thresh is the only one who's probably going to do. Well, then again, he does AP as well. So the AP flat scaling comp will be locked in there as we see Orianna getting picked up for that mid lane. It's going to be a Kog'Maw and a Thresh down bottom versus that Blitzcrank and Sivir. Who wins that comp? Who really outscales before that pre-6?
Sivir. Sivir really bullies out Kog'Maw in that pre-6 situation. She's got that Ricochet and the Boomerang Blade. She's going to push very hard. And on top of that, you do have a Blitzcrank with Ignite by the looks of things. So when he does hook Kog'Maw, expect a lot of damage to go through and a lot of kill pressure. So if he needs basically Sarah OG EXO needs to dodge all those hooks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's in trouble.
Yeah, a lot of aggressive play coming through from that bot lane. The Blitzcrank is going to expose that Kog'Maw if he can't really kite that well. And if they can't push him out of lane, Blitzcrank's just going to take full advantage. You're going to see a Sivir that's fed by maybe the 15 to 20 minute mark. And for me, like that's pretty scary. Do you think Kog'Maw could possibly outplay this bottom lane if he gets in the right positioning?
Definitely. This is a game of positioning. If he gets there, make sure he avoids all those hooks. Once he gets to around that mid-game spike, once he finishes that Triforce and the Blade of the Ruined King, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and look, that bottom lane is not the only thing that's powerful. As we move to the top lane, we've got a Vladimir and a Maokai. It's going to be pretty passive play for the part of the game, isn't it?
Definitely. Look to see Vladimir be a little bit careful early.
Yeah.
Because around that level 4 point is when Maokai gets a quick power spike where he can actually do a lot of damage to Vladimir. Vladimir's got a very cheap power spike in the fact that he just needs to pick up his Will of the Ancients and get his spell penetration shoots. Once he gets those two going, he's very, very hard to stop. So look for them to be a lot of contention hitting Vladimir in a top lane, most likely. And
the team fight capabilities of these two top laners is absolutely huge. Vladimir has a big impact on team fights. He goes into that back line, he uses his Hemoplague, and his Tides of Blood hits everything around him, which just adds to that Hemoplague damage. Can Maokai really counter that? Is there going to be any hope for the team fights with the Vladimir if he gets fed?
To be honest, they sort of cancel each other out. Maokai uses his ultimate in that zone and area, and that reduces damage for everyone in his whole team. Whereas Vladimir, when he pops his ultimate down, that increases damage for everyone in that whole area. The difference is that Maokai's got a bit of an advantage. He's able to move his zone of damage reduction with him as he moves. So it's kind of hard to say what will actually come out of those fight situations. Look to probably see as the longer the fight goes on, there's going to be a lot more damage flying out, and that's probably what's going to come out on top for the for Avant Academy.
And I think we might have seen the Gragas pay a bit of a visit to top. Of course, mid lane is pretty crucial at the moment, but the top lane, I see that being the deciding part of whoever gets fed. They're probably going to make that team fight work for them.
Yeah, definitely. I probably look to see Maokai try to roam a bit more around the map, see if he can make those team fights work. Whereas Vladimir's going to sit there, just split push away, get as big as he possibly can before he enters into the team fights, because he is a very squishy target before they start, even with that troll pool of his.
Yeah, and Maokai with the troll pool, that's a very good way to put it there. Fizz and the Orianna in the mid lane. Now, look, I mean, Fizz is very strong if he gets fed. Everyone knows that. Fizz can be a very, very dangerous weapon. But Orianna, her ability to farm, her ability to scale into that late game, that trumps Fizz, doesn't it?
Pretty much. She has got a lot more teamfight potential with her Shockwave. On top of that, she has the ability to shield herself, so if Fizz ever tries to trade, she can just simply shield, start auto-attacking away, and she'll probably come out on top if Fizz didn't really plan out that that trading attack that he went for. So it's going to be hard to say who will come out on top there. Fizz does have a lot of kill potential early, so if Orianna's not careful, he can pick up an easy kill, but she is very safe. She's definitely why she's called the most balanced mid laner or the most balanced mage in the game.
Yeah, and Orianna, I haven't seen much of Orianna recently, but it looks like she might be phased back in this meta, considering that she's so versatile and she was never really out to begin with. You see a lot of these pro scenes picking up the Orianna again, the LPL, the OPL. Doesn't matter what it is. They really like to get that passive Orianna in the mid. Whereas Fizz, you see a lot of invading into the jungle. He can be quite a nuisance.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Fizz needs to try and basically go through and make something happen towards that early and mid game, whereas Orianna's going to sit there and farm in the mid game, get to that 300 CS by the 25-minute mark if she can.
Wow.
Sort of situation. That's the dream.
That's a lot.
That's the dream.
That's definitely the dream. I don't even think I never saw 300 farm at 25 minutes, but you know what?
They can do it. You'd be surprised what these players, if they're professionals and they're pros. I mean, we do have some challenges floating around in this particular game. They're very capable of doing it because what they do is they go through, they push their lane out, and then on top of that, they're able to farm the side lanes. So while the junglers are walking around trying to make ganks happen, they'll go through and they'll pick up the wolves. They'll go through, they'll pick up the raptors, and that's what makes up that deficit by that point in time.
And we're seeing two pretty fresh teams come onto the scene, so we don't know what to expect coming into this game. We don't know much about the players either, so there's a lot shrouded in mystery. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for all the lanes here, but specifically for that mid lane, which could turn the tides of the game. But so could top lane. There are some really crucial picks coming in there, and we're shortly moving on to the Rift, but very curious to see how this Fizz goes against the Orianna.
Yeah, well, like I said before, Fizz needs to make something happen in that early mid game. If he can't get a kill on Orianna, we'll probably see him at level 6 roam while she goes through and takes that mid turret. If he doesn't pick up any kills to snowball from, Orianna's going to by default have the advantage going through.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on that as we move into our first game of the Oceanic Open Ladder for the ACL. Of course, Avant Garde Academy versus the Limited Power, and we're just going to keep an eye on everyone. We don't know what to expect coming into this. They're fighting for points here. There's a lot of prizes up for grabs, so both teams want this just as badly as the other one. Sejuani looks to be looking for a bit of invade, going very deep into the enemy jungle. Everyone's retreating, and looks like Avant Garde had the power in this early game.
Yeah, Avant Garde definitely have a very powerful early game. They've got the lockdown from Maokai, they've got the lockdown from Blitzcrank to pull them on through, and the damage coming through from Fizz and Sivir. They did do very, very deep wards there. That suggests to me they might be looking for a lane swap, and they need the information in order to do that. So we're going to see what they do now, how they're going to position themselves as they go through into the lane. Looks like it's just going to be standard lanes.
Yeah, it looks like pretty standard lanes coming through. The Maokai might be helping with those Raptors, getting the level 2, and we see this a lot. It's been very common recently, getting the Raptors or the Wolves, getting level 2, going back and teleporting straight up. You have the level advantage. You don't have the CS advantage to be sure, but the level advantage can give you that upper hand you need.
Yeah, and Maokai's one of those laners that can do it. He can sit there, start stacking up his saplings on the camps as they spawn, boom, instant damage, and very quickly, and he'll be back in lane without losing too much.
Yeah, and the teleport's going to help that a lot. Picking up the Doran's Ring to start, pretty standard stuff coming through the Maokai. We were talking about this the other day. The Maokai, we normally see double Doran's if behind, and as we say, a lot of harass coming through from the mid lane, but double Doran's normally gets picked up, maybe with a Catalyst or the Protector if you're behind, or if you need that extra damage coming through, and we might see that this game.
Well, it's just a fantastic build to have. The Doran's Ring itself provides a lot of early power for Maokai, and that's what he's going to want to have against Vladimir, because Vladimir is a bit weak in the early games. And if you get those 2 D rings and follow up with a Catalyst, it sort of helps out with that power trough that you have when you do buy the Catalyst, depending if you want to pick up your Rod of Ages or go for the Righteous Glory.
And look at that mid lane again. The Fizz has picked up a couple of flasks. So he's gone a bit passive, but really props to Sasaki for going with the Command Protect for the first thing. Knowing that the Fizz has of course, the E. So that Tidal Trickster is going to do so much damage. Getting the Protect instead, it's a really smart play.
Yeah, it's actually quite standard for Orianna because what she does is she has a wind-up passive, which is every time she auto-attacks, she actually starts doing more and more damage afterwards. So what you do is you just throw your shield on yourself, start auto-attacking away, start throwing as many as you can out at them. There's not much they can do because you've got the extra armor, that shield damage, and it's good to go. Skeletal's going for it. And
it looks like he gets the level advantage that he was looking for. Sora taking a lot of damage there, and he's just going to get bruted out of lane, but Sora thinks he can go back in, so bit of bullying going back and forth in this top lane as the Twisted Advance once again going. The Sapling's going to do the slow and the damage. There's the first blood going straight to Maokai.
And then, as I just said, in the early game, there's going to be a lot of contention in the top lane because he's very weak early. This is why you didn't really see him come through before. And now that there's these more tankier picks, he thinks he's a bit more safe. But very well done by Sejuani going through a lot of lockdown on that top lane. And he was taken out before he could do anything.
Oh, and there's a rocket grab coming for the Blitzcrank. A nice pull, but Becky Gomez just going to take a couple of hits and walk away. We missed that in the mid lane. The damage that's coming out of Orianna already brought Triple Cheese to less than half health.
Yeah, he's definitely needing those flasks to sustain at the moment. And he seems to be trying to play for Trixie and get a bit more damage off, but she just shields up straight away and easily able to go on through.
Yeah, might be some outplaying coming through from the mid lane. Pretty standard farm coming through as well. Not too much to rave about, where we see the Sivir ahead by 5 farm. 5, still a decent amount at this early game. So if he can develop that advantage and keep it going against the Cogmore, you'll see that Sivir do exactly what we said in the lobby there. Bully and harass.
Pretty much. And it's at that point where she is just pushing it up. It's making it hard for Cogmore to farm once it does get to that tower point. Becky Gomez is looking around to see if he can get hooks on Cogmore. He's already blown all his potions now. So if he gets caught again, look for it to do a lot of damage.
And once again, look at the top lane here. The damage coming out on Sora as Mr. Skeletal tries to bully him again. The Vladimir cannot do anything here. Sora's going to have to back out of this one. Even the transfusion, not going to give him enough health he needs.
No, and as you can see, Maokai's picked up another Doran's ring. He goes in again.
The twisted advance hits once again. The sapling's going to slow, but the Tides of Blood, sorry, the Sanguine pool comes in through there and gets him out nice and safe.
That's why they call it the troll pool.
Oh.
It's very annoying to deal with. But yeah, he flashes in.
The flash comes in. He's taking so much turret pressure. That's 3 turret hits. Vladimir might want to go in after this one, or any jungle pressure top will be well needed at the moment. Clearing the wave in the mid lane, but that was a bit of a miscalculation coming through from Maokai.
Yeah, he was overextending just a bit too much. He's sitting there laughing and taunting him at the moment. He thought he can go through and just blow him up. He knew the Sanguine pool was down, but he just underestimated that range by that little much, and now he took a lot of damage for it.
The death sentence down bottom only just hits a minion, so a nice play once again. We're seeing a lot of skill caps come through this top lane. Mr. Skeletal, he knows he has a bit of an advantage in this pre-6 stage before the Hemo Plague comes out, and he's using it really well, with Sejuani almost camping that top lane as well.
Yeah, she's coming back in again. Gragas was sitting around there before, seeing to see if he could make something happen for the Vladimir. But now it's Sejuani's turn. Will she be able to go through and get more snowballing advantage in that top lane? And to be honest, getting a Maokai rolling is still really good. He's relevant at all points in the game. And
once again, the twisted advance hit. Sora's going to have to use that Sanguine pool once again. Nellis is looking for the charge, and he might not find it. No, not just yet, but so much bullying going for this Vladimir. You got to feel sorry for him.
Definitely. But he's actually up in CS at the moment with that wave pushing into him. So he's actually doing very well considering the circumstances, but he is down that 1 kill, and now he's going to miss out on a lot of experience. This is exactly what they need to do, because Vladimir does outscale Maokai as the game goes forward.
And picking up that those 2 ability power tomes and a couple of pots, that's going to give him that extra bit of health and damage coming through, where we saw what we're talking about with Maokai. Double Dorans.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really strong. Cogmore gets hooked.
Oh, man. The rocket grab is just harassing this Cogmore. And Becky Gomez has been pretty accurate with his rocket grabs.
Yeah, he's managed to land 2 really good ones that we have seen so far. And the damage is going through. He's now got no more pots, like I said before. He's still doing extremely well considering the situation, because he's down roughly 8 CS, and that wave is pushing into him.
Yeah, now 10 CS. That's going to be an advantage for Sivir. Might not be able to go to BF Sword as we look at it. There we go. There's the gold for the BF Sword for both AD carries. So a lot of damage power going to be coming through in that bot lane.
Yeah, I'd say Sivir will go through and pick up the BF Sword. There she is. She's got it. But Cogmore likes to go through back and get a phage on his first back. So that way he's got a little bit more movement speed when he's got his auto attacks, and a bit more tankiness, because he is very easily affected by it. Skeletor's popped his ultimate.
Oh, once again, he's just bullying Sora so much. The ult takes a huge chunk of damage off it. We once again see that maybe top doesn't need help anymore.
Pretty much. It's at that point where he can go through and bully on through. He's only at 5 CS, even with the amount of health that he has had. But he's pretty much just done his job. He's denied enough experience on Vladimir that he won't be relevant until late game. That mid game, he might be able to come through and make some plays, but he really needs to pull out something amazing to make it work.
And they've got a huge wave pushing in this top lane, but Sejuani nowhere near that top, so it's just going to be false hope coming through. Sora 2 levels behind now. After this wave will be level 6. And we see that Vladimir's probably going to need a bit more help coming through from Gragas. Spotting a pink ward there, Becky Gomez takes a bit of damage. The death sentence misses, and they're just going to disengage from each other.
Yeah, they're gripping around that dragon area in the river. They're setting up wards to see if they can get through. They're probably looking to take the advantage that Maokai has. So if they do start a team fight, he'll come through with his teleport and do a lot of damage and a lot of work.
You got to remember the Hemo Plague has just come up from Sora, so if he positions himself right in a team fight, or positioning for this dragon, he can possibly get himself fed and actually turn the tides of blood back on himself.
Exactly. They're looking to gank him.
And coming up there as Sora has to pop that Sanguine pull once again. Mr. Skeletal taking so much turret damage, and Fizz just bursts Sora down so quickly. That's going to be the first kill for Fizz.
Yeah, and they knew Maokai could tank the damage, but Nellis is just there seeing if he can do a bit of damage on Sasaki.
Oh my god, Sasaki taking a lot of damage from that early Sejuani. There comes a Glacial Prison going straight on Sasaki. Only has the blue buff, but not enough mana at this stage. The slow comes through, and both teams going to disengage. There's the first turret of the game, going straight to the Maokai.
And that's what they need. They need to get this game going because Vladimir does outscale the Maokai. And this gives them the opportunity now to push out that lane and see if he can just walk towards the dragon, take an easy dragon, teleport back to lane.
And Becky Gomez once again looking for that pull under turret. We've seen it so many times before. Can he or she land it as we've seen in the past? The Kog'Maw getting harassed by that rocket grab. Sivir is around 5 CS up at the moment. Has retained that lead with the BF sword. Has so much wave clear with that Boomerang blade. And we see people like Kog'Maw who, until 6, which I believe he's only just reached there with the living artillery, doesn't have as much wave clear coming through from the Sivir.
Nah, definitely. He does have that volatile ooze that he likes to spit out that is effective at wave clearing.
Yeah.
For him, it's not that good unless you actually go AP because it scales fantastically with AP. Triple Cheese there just picking up his blue buff. He manages to also roam top lane, and he's now that he's got that kill as well, Orianna needs to look out.
Orianna is doing a lot of damage at the moment, has a CS advantage once again, and we see the Unholy Angel Grail probably going to get picked up, the Athene's Unholy Angel Grail. But the Athene's getting picked up with some huge magic resist coming through, as well as the cooldown reduction and that AP. And the ability to get back in mana so easily on Orianna, I think is what makes it so dangerous. As Sora dodges that with a nice Sanguine pull, doesn't get rooted to the ground.
Pretty much. He's able to just walk on out of that, making himself untargetable in that situation. And going back to the Orianna, as Triple Trees tries to do some damage, he just walks away. The reason why is there was a recent buff to that to the Athene's Grail. It actually gives back more mana. Before it was roughly around that 15%. Now it's closer towards that 20% mark. With those buffs coming through, that's why these mid laners are coming back.
Yeah, and Orianna probably going to get her first kill sometime soon with such a CS advantage. We're looking at a great CS game coming through as well, as Sora once again gets rooted on the ground, and Sora popping that pull, taking a lot of damage on the turret, but once again just going to get away with a brutal Maokai on the top lane.
Yeah, he's got his Catalyst now, and because, even though that's considered to be his power trough, he's so far ahead, it doesn't matter. And every time he levels up, he's going to be able to get back. But there's some action in the middle lane.
Oh, Chum the Waters comes out on Sasaki, but not too much damage to follow through. The Tidal Trickster comes through as the Glacial Prison's in there. Gragas wants some of the action, but Sasaki goes down before anything can happen. A really nice ult coming out from Gragas. Doesn't take that final turret hit, but Charge, he's getting dove by the Maokai, who may have just once again taken too many turret hits. Triple Cheese is back in. The Sanguine pull gets pulled out, as well as the Hemoplague. Becky Gomez with yet another pull. The double kill going to Fizz, and it's just a bloodbath going towards Avant Garde.
That was amazing. That Glacial Prison that came out from Nellis was insane. That range just hit, and now they're going to pick up an easy dragon. Yeah,
that dragon's going to go down quite quickly. Nellis not going to die from it, although getting pretty close. Becky Gomez coming in for that final rocket grab, and has been so accurate throughout this game. She hasn't missed one yet.
No, she hasn't. It's amazing what Becky Gomez can do. And because of that, they basically, Becky Gomez follow-up coming on through to pick up, like Gragas was amazing. It was enough, oh, sorry, not the Gragas, to pick up Vladimir afterwards. And that was just amazing. That's what gave them the opportunity to pick up the dragon. Now they're just going to snowball further ahead. On top of that, they have got 3 kills on Fizz.
And do you remember me saying, when I said, oh, the Vladimir, if he can position himself well, just then he came in with the teleport. He came in for the flash with the Hemoplague and tried to Sanguine pull just to get a bit of damage and as well become untargetable against that 1v3. But he's not doing any damage yet. He's got the Hextech Revolver. He's got a bit of a Spell Vamp. But apart from that, not too much AP to be raving about.
No, yeah. And like I was saying before, he has a very cheap Power Strike. Skeletal goes back in on Sora.
Oh, once again, the bullying will continue on Sora as he tries to get away from this one. Is the Twisted Advance going to be up? That Sapling isn't up either, but he just smashes the ground a couple of times. Lets him know he's there, and the pressure continues.
Yeah, and as we can see with Skeletal at the moment, he's going for that Righteous Glory. He goes back in on Sora.
Sora has come back into the lane, maybe a bit prematurely as we move back to the mid lane, and the rocket grab hits on Sasaki. There's Chum the Waters. There is the shockwave coming for Orianna, but Triple Cheese picks up the kill, getting Gragas barreled. The explosive cast zones him off, gets the shutdown gold bonus that they so desperately need for limited power.
Yeah, definitely. Very well played by the Gragas. He managed to lock down the Fizz and keep him slow, so he was going to keep on taking tower hits. That's why he was able to fall. That was very well done by Becky Gomez to get the hook, but that Chum the Waters had missed. If that had actually landed, he would have gone down much faster, and they probably would have escaped with a free kill.
Yeah, only missed just by a little bit. Siva trying to count this one out. It's a 1v1 down bottom with the ADC, but the critical strike is too much. Finishes off Sarah, and Chief Edition picks up his first kill of the game as we see Sora up in the top lane getting re-engaged, and that was so well played by the Siva.
Just action happening everywhere by Avant Academy.
Yeah.
Siva did a fantastic job going through, popping that on the hunt, going straight onto him. He's got the damage early. He knows he hasn't finished his Triforce yet. And I have a better power spike than you. I've already got some crit now as well, and I've got more damage. Sora's in trouble.
Sora has been rooted before he can pop that Sangwine pull. The sapling doesn't even finish it off. He punches him once again, and that's a second kill for the Maokai. The Vladimir is coming way too far out.
Yeah, he's just being too far aggressive. He's probably used to being more stronger in most of his games, but at this point, that tree is big. His fists are massive. That punch was all he needed to finish him off. Charge is in trouble.
And Charge is caught out in his own jungle. A rocket grab makes sure of that. And Charge trying to get out, uses his barrel to slow down, but there is the slow. The ult from Nellis makes short work of that. And it looks like Avant Academy are just getting so fed.
Yeah, Nellis is doing a fantastic job with his ultimates. They are always landing every time he needs them to. They are now roughly almost, well, they are pretty much 4K up. They're going to soon hit that 5K mark. And the way this game is going, limited power really needs to put on that damage control.
Will they scale late game?
They do scale late game.
But
they really do.
Will they? His Chum the Waters comes in again, and Sasaki, oh, the rocket grab. Kind of pull it out of the title trick, the playful trickster, sorry. The flash coming through from Thresh, but it doesn't matter because Fizz picks up the kill anyway. Bottom turret is down, and Nellis with good positioning is straight onto Sarah. The damage from Siva makes short work. 11 for 2 kills. The gold lead has just moved to 7K. Sorry, 8K with that next turret. The rocket grab just misses. And Avant Academy are looking so strong.
Avant Academy are just making moves everywhere across the map. Towers are falling, champions are falling. They're definitely well and truly in the driver's seat. Limited power can scale, well, limited power does scale into the late game. The question is, will they scale?
But they don't have any kills at the moment. That is the problem. The only 2 kills are on Charge, and Gragas is going to scale no matter if he has kills or assists. He slowly tanks up, and the Cinderhulk is really all he needs to make an impact into those lanes. Having said that, the kills are still going to benefit him. He's picked up a Sightstone with it. He's got a bit more vision control. They're getting caught in their own jungle. That's the problem here. Can they stop Avant Academy in time? Not too sure, Mendrix.
I'm definitely not too sure either. Look at the warding that they've got at the moment. They have 4 pink wards in that dragon area. They definitely want to make sure they ensure control of this. They want to make sure they take control. Skeletal just keeps going.
Skeletal is brutally harassing Sora once again, and the damage getting done. He might try to pop his ult and do more. He takes a couple of turret hits, but he doesn't care. The Hemoplague's not going to do much. Oh, the Righteous Glory flash. Oh, the skill came through there, and that was beautiful.
That was amazing. He popped his Righteous Glory. He had more than enough speed to go through. He got that Twisted Event as the flash went off. He burnt more than he needed to. He flew. He really flew.
He absolutely flew onto Sora. 0 for 5 with a Hextech Revolver that cannot be finished into the will of the Ancients just yet. Vladimir hasn't got his first item. Maokai moving on to his second. In that top lane, it's just too brutal.
It's very unfortunate. He's got his Will of the Ancients. He still hasn't got any spell penetration.
No.
It looks like he's trying to go for his Haunting Guise. He needs to get his boots. That speed is killing him. He needs to get his spell penetration boots now because he has got more utility to walk around the Maokai.
And they're just walking all over their jungle. I was just watching Fizz just then. He's picked up the Magi's. He's feeling pretty confident about his laning, and he thinks he's going to get some more kills, which I would not be surprised. 5 for 1. He's played a really big part in this game with 7 out of 12 with the kill participation coming through. He's just picked up the needlessly large rod on top of the Lich Bane. Not sure if you can stop a Fizz that can just rampage over your Orianna.
To be honest, at this point, he will one-shot whoever he gets that Chum the Waters on.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's got the Magi's, and he's more than happy to keep on scaling on through, get more AP, just free AP now. That's what he sees in his head.
And Charge knows that the Dragon is up. He knows that there's a possibility to sort of get this objective. Give them that 6% AP and AD that they really need. But can he get there in time?
No, there's too many wards. The coverage is there. This is going to be a free Dragon coming on through again for Avant Academy. There's not much limited power can do as it falls.
It's watered. They know they have the timer, but by the time the next Dragon comes up, will they be able to get to it again? This is the problem with limited power. They need more pressure on this map.
The one thing going for them is they don't have the siege potential. Siva and Fizz don't exactly have the ability to take down towers. If they're able to siege it out, they might be able to make this game last long enough to scale. But there's a lot of brute force power that these guys have. Blitzcrank is what they're going to use to pull them through and actually get the picks they need to take the towers out. But it's going to be hard to see.
And Sarah puts that pull down, but they cannot stop the destruction of this turret. 4 turrets to 0. We see a 10k gold lead coming through from Avant Academy. Limited power falling behind. 0 dragons, 2 kills on the board. 2 of them which going to the jungler, who is a tank and not a carry. So not going to make too good use of those kills. Charge still looking strong, but not strong enough. The sieging will continue on this middle turret. Can limited power defend this? Or can they get a pick that they so desperately need?
It's going to be definitely hard because they're looking for a massive hook from Thresh to get the pick that they need.
Yeah.
Probably from that point, he can probably go in, and then they've got the wombo combo with the Orianna Shockwave. That is definitely a lot of ifs in order to pull off what they need to actually come back into this game.
Yeah, Charge just clearing some ward coverage there as we move straight over to Sora, who's trying to grab some farm. He needs it so badly. And props to him, he hasn't fallen behind that much. For a lane where you've gone 0 to 5, he's only 30 CS behind.
Yeah, that Baron has also popped up onto the field as well. Coming from Avant Academy, they definitely have a lot of power. They can definitely ward that up right now. And then from there, they're able to actually get that Baron buff, and they have the tools they need to crack the shell of limited power. There is the ward there already. Limited power know this, so they're going to hope to see that they go through and try to take it, and then that'll be their opportunity to make a team fight work for them.
Nellis is huge. He's gone for the Warmog's second item. Cinderhulk already being built with, of course, the Mercury treads for that magic resist and the tenacity. Now, especially against Sora, who's getting bullied once again. He's getting rooted with that Sanguine pull, which isn't good for him. He pops the ult, he does more damage, and I believe that top turret might fall down.
Yeah, it's got only 10% left. He's got those big tree arms that's just going to whack away at it now. And just going on through, they're positioned around there. They're going to try and get a pick.
Oh, here comes a pick looking for Charge, and he looks for Nellis, who's been caught out by a pink ward, but not enough members of limited power are nearby. The death sentence lands, and they're looking for their 1 kill. Nellis trying to get out, but the Hemo plate gets popped. The Glacial Prison also, as Fizz is down in this bottom lane, harassing this Kog'Maw. Will the passive from Kog'Maw get popped? Oh, he just gets beaten up, and that's a 1-for-1 trade down bottom as Charge picks up Nellis, but the rest of Avant Academy are down there. Killing spree for Siva, and it's 14 for 4. At least limited power picked up a couple of kills, but it's just made Avant Academy so much stronger.
Pretty much. Avant Academy now at this point, they're being too cocky. They gave up 2 kills there that didn't need to go through. That's great that limited power picked it up. That was really just sloppy positioning on their part.
But a good death sentence coming through from the Thresh. You gotta remember that Teals was in good positioning to start off, but because of the rotation, as we see Sasaki getting damaged really hard, and a nice dark passage coming from Teals, which keeps Sasaki alive for another day.
Yeah, it was a good hook coming through from Thresh in that situation that pick up Nellis. But the thing was, is that pink ward really necessary for them to take out? It's so far placed into they get Chief.
Oh, the shockwave comes through, but the passive spell shield is there for addition, and doesn't look like he's going to get taken out this time, but a really nice death sentence from Thresh. If there's hope for a pick, it's through Teals.
Definitely through Teals at the moment. His hooks have been on point, but there's just so much brute power from Avant Academy. They are now almost 11k ahead. They can just continue to farm up. They still haven't got wards in the Baron yet. If they let this game too long, limited power can come back.
They can definitely come back into this game. Charge is looking even stronger than ever. Picking up the Spectral Cow, he's looking for that magic resist with their health regeneration. Now remember, of course, you fall behind or you take damage certain percentage, you get that extra health regen. And for Gragas, that's amazing. That's absolutely what you want. As Sora gets CC'd to the max, the Glacial Prison is up, so we might be seeing something big. Becky Gomez, the Blitzcrank doing so much damage, it's ridiculous.
He is definitely very far ahead himself. His hooks are landing all the time. She, maybe. Who knows? It could be another strawberry in the mist. Nellis gets caught, but he's okay.
He's all right. Doesn't matter. Becky Gomez in that backline. We might see another rocket grab come out with a nice exploding cast coming through from Charge. He's got Skeletal under the turret. He doesn't take that crucial turret hit. Now Triple Cheese so squishy, looking to get out of this one, or maybe in. We don't know at this stage. Teal's looking for that crucial death sentence. They might just separate here. And it looks like it does land on Becky Gomez. That's what we were waiting for. Becky Gomez gets Teals, and the shockwave comes through on 3 members of Avant Garde Academy. Chief Edition takes so many turret shots coming through there. As Sora, once again, looking for more kills on Nellis. Triple Cheese has the Hemo Plague on him. Does it do enough? No, it doesn't. Nellis looking to get out of this one. Sora doesn't have his flash available just yet. And 4 members get out with hardly any health. And it looks like they might try and queue up the Dragon, which is up in 30 seconds. Or look for some potential in the jungle.
Oh, that was an amazing team fight. I can't believe there was a double hook that started it all. Becky Gomez did a fantastic job putting that through and getting the silences off.
Yeah.
But then the thing is that Oriana's shockwave really helped limited power out. That did a lot of damage control for them. But even with that amazing shockwave, just Avant Garde Academy is so strong at the moment.
They're just so huge. And I mean, you got the Sejuani in the mix there who took the shockwave but took no damage. Has that front line, that ability to be such a huge tank, just walks forward into their back line for limited power. And, you know, it's just, what can you do with a Sejuani and a Maokai that are that huge?
Not much, really. There's not much. They're sitting there. The best you can do is wait for them to dive upon you onto the tower. They dove upon them on the tower, and they still got out. It's one of those situations where it's really tough. They just need to hold out and turtle. They've got the wave clear with the Oriana, the Gragas, and the Kog'Maw. It's possible for them to do that. The 3rd and crucial Dragon coming through now for Avant Garde Academy.
Movement speed bonus coming through, but no one of limited power is nearby. They cannot contest this at all. So that's fair enough. That's some smart play coming through. All they can hope to do is farm up that jungle and try and get a lead or try and get something here as the Righteous Glory gets popped onto the Oriana. Sasaki is not going to live to see this one, but the Dark Passage comes through. And of course, the Twisted Advance follows her in there. The Sapling looking for Sasaki. A nice face block by Teals and survives Sasaki only by the drop of her health.
Very, very good engagement coming through. Nellis is in trouble, but he manages to just charge away.
Arctic Assault gets rid of that. Oh my god, Charge has just been CC'd to the max, and the Dark Passage does not reach the Gragas there. Gragas getting taken down. There's your front line. There's your heavy tank. So we might see a bit of a Baron rotation move to a siege. Just Triple Cheese for some reason. Split pushing.
Pretty much. They've taken out the jungler now. He's definitely causing a lot of pressure. He's going on Sasaki.
Does he need to land Chum the Waters? That's the real question here as Ignite gets popped. Now Sora's in the mix as well. Sanguine Pool is up, so he might be able to dodge this one. There it is. Only just missing, but oh my god, the damage and the rocket grab at max range gets Teals 4 members down, soon to be 3 of limited power. And you've got to think, what can you do to stop this? 5 members with Baron buff, the pushing potential. They might be able to end it here.
Pretty much. Triple Cheese was just having a fun time down on that bottom lane.
So fun.
He's just like, oh yeah, no, Oriana, no worries. Let me just kill you. Oh, Vladimir, you want to come too? Yeah, this was more than enough fun. You used your troll pool. That's fine. You got no HP. I'm just going to queue out now. It's ridiculous. And the whole time, his team was taking Baron. There's not much you can really do at this point. They're going to try their best. They need to hold off. They have the tools to break the base now. Will limited power pull it off? Can they hold out for the next 20 minutes to make themselves strong enough to actually be contestable against them?
I think the best thing about that was Chum the Waters missed, and his title Trickster missed. All he needed was a Q, and that was really like the, you know, the topping off of everything. Right?
He's so powerful at the moment. Those stacks are coming through now on his Medjais. He's already finished his Zhonya's Hourglass. He has the Lich Bane. He has the tools he needs to one-shot Kog'Maw the moment he lands those chums. There's a lot going through for them. There's a lot going for Avant Garde Academy as a whole at the moment. Even now, they're split pushing. They've split this up to 3-1. He's going on Sasaki again.
Sasaki takes Chum the Waters. The Zhonya gets popped, and a Zonya's coming through from Sasaki, but the whole members of limited power there. The Shockwave misses, and Fizz has decided to 1v5. The Fizz dream is coming real. Can Triple Cheese get out of this one before he gets slowed? Once again, the title Trickster. Oh, he only just dies, but at what cost? The Baron buff is pushing this top wave and going for the inhibitor. Becky Gomez has so much potential with the rocket grab. Who can he get this time? Of course, On the Hunt gets popped by Sivir, and the damage is just too much. Sora gets silenced before the Sanguine pull, but is it going to be enough? The rocket grab misses, but Chief Edition doing so much damage there as the Glacial Prison gets popped, and now Charge going to get taken out. Quadra kill coming through from the Sivir, and that's going to be the game.
That was all huge. Triple Cheese was able to 1v5 for a short amount of time, take a 1-for-1 trade. They're so strong. Now, Mr. Skeletor took so much damage, and he's still standing.
Oh my god, I'm not even sure they're going to end at this stage. They're looking for the Orianna, who does get destroyed. No, only just survives with the barrier saving his life. The Arctic Assault comes through. Double kill for Orianna. Quadra kill for Orianna. They've brought it back. Don't worry, Mendrix. They've brought it back. The Orianna carries.
Orianna's got one case. I don't know if they should have done that. I love how there's a little call there by Sejuani. Did you guys just lag in that situation? But who knows what's going to happen now. They're just going through saying, you know what? Take it. Here's our charity. We can win this now, even with you giving Orianna that big pull. Let's hope limited power show them they can't do it.
As the surrender vote comes in, well-deserved quadra kill for the Orianna, and I'm sure that makes him feel very, very good about himself. Limited power showed what they were capable of, but in the end, Avant Garde Academy just looked too strong. All I could see there was a Sivir in the back line punishing that back to midline, just running through there. And it was so dangerous. You can't leave that Sivir unattended. But in the same time, you got a playful Trickster Fizz coming through. And Chum the Waters hit 7 out of 8 times.
Oh, it was just ridiculous what they did. Their communication, their rotations was amazing. There were objectives falling simultaneously around the map, just giving greater and greater power spikes for them throughout the entire game. And then from that point, it was just a matter of choking them out. And then even then, Triple Cheese, he didn't even need to choke them out. He was going through 1v2ing, still getting kills.
1v5 in the end, and he got, I think he got 1 or 2 kills out of that, which was surprising, but not really considering that you're Fizz, and almost made it out with the rendition of going back to that top lane. And of course, Avant Garde got the top turret with ease, and the inhibitor opened up the base, well and truly broken, and quadra kill coming through from Arena, very well deserved. But that's not all for ACL's action, of course. We will be back with you after a short break for the Oceanic Open ladder. We'll see you right after this.